This right here, I applaud Kia. They do a great job with colors both inside and out. Take a look at these seats. Dust blue leather, they are quilted. I love it. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this fuel sipper is a 2025 Kia Sorento Hybrid in the top SX Prestige trim. In this video, I'm going to take you on a complete tour and a quick drive to investigate if this $50,000 three-row crossover is worth considering versus the ever-growing sea of competition. Before we get too far into this one, I do want to say a huge thank you to Kia for delivering us this SX Prestige version of the Kia Sorento Hybrid. This is not the first time we've tested a Sorento. This is not the first time we've tested a Sorento Hybrid, but this is the first time we've gotten a facelifted Sorento Hybrid with the SX Prestige package. The last time was a pre-refresh EX trim, which is one of two trims you can get on this hybrid. I really do like this one. There is a lot to like about this Kia Sorento Hybrid SX Prestige, starting with what motivates it underneath the hood. I have always been a fan of the Kia and Hyundai hybrid technology, and there is no exception here. What we get is a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline four-cylinder mated to a hybrid powertrain. All told, this produces 227 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, sending power to all four wheels via a 6-speed automatic and employing torque vectoring all-wheel drive. I will note that the electric motor is responsible for 59 of the horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque, and we will talk a little bit more about what that feels like when we are behind the wheel. But suffice it to say, I have always enjoyed this. Fuel economy, we'll go ahead and get out of the way. 34 across the board. City, highway, combined, doesn't matter. 34 mpg is what the EPA rates this thing at. And in our week's worth of running errands exclusively around town, we are seeing right at 30. I don't think we've really gotten to stretch its legs too much. Closing the hood though, we talked about the refresh. This got a new face and I really like it. This wears the same face as the Kia Carnival minivan, though I really think it wears it better here than on that MPV. Excuse me, Kia, don't call that one a minivan. We get the star map lighting, running lights, daytime running lights and turn signals here, multi-element LED headlights, and we do have LED fogs on this. All the way around though, I think this is a very clean, very handsome, very rugged look. I will say our steel gray example has sat outside all week and it's been rained on. It's had neighborhood cats, unfortunately, crawling all over it. And I can say it is hiding dirt very well, though I don't know that steel gray would be the choice I would pick. There is a beautiful blue that really is more my style, especially with some of the satin metal exterior accents that we will talk about as we come around this one. I really do enjoy the wheel design. Kia wheel designs across the board have been next level. Just look at what they offer on their EV9 three-row electric crossover with the triangular and square designs. Here we get like a saw blade look design where you have that machined edge near the tire, but that black center. They just look really good. And they are wrapped in 19-inch Continental cross-contact tires. We'll talk more about how those perform when we get them out on the road, but they are two 35/55 R19s. And as we pull out, I talked about the satin exterior accents. You can see there on the front fender going into the front door, little satin accent, a little garnish there. You can also see that little bit of a shark fin back behind the second door. That does have our GT Garage Talk magnet stuck to it, so those are fully magnetic metal pieces, not just shiny plastic bits, so I do appreciate that. The overall design is really handsome. I've always liked this generation Kia Sorento since it came out in 2020, and it just looks even better with the facelift. As we pull around to the back of the vehicle, you can see they did tweak the taillights a little bit, but otherwise you're going to be hard pressed to tell the back end of a new Sorento apart from an old Sorento if you don't know that the tail lights are different. We have that star map like design that bleeds into both of the dual elements back here on the back, but you can see we have full LED lighting back on the rear of this one. No visual tailpipe because we do have that 1.6 turbo 4 in our hybrid electric vehicle right here. They did kind of mask where the rear release is underneath, and kind of making it harder to know exactly where to find that. But this does have Kia's smart key access system with our proximity hands-free opening, so you shouldn't have to push that button if you have it set up properly. I've got the vehicle running right now, which is why it did not automatically open. Unfortunately for the Kia Sorento, storage space behind the third row is a shortcoming of this vehicle. You can see the headrests are practically in the back window. This is a third row in a pinch when you need a third row, but as you can see from the headrest count back here, it is 2 plus 2 plus 2, giving us 6 total seats. So if you were to fold the manually folding third row seat down, and now you only have seating for 4, but you do have captain's chairs all the way around in our SX Prestige version. We will go ahead and move my backpack out of the way here because the storage place for our retractable cargo shade that can only be used when the back seats are down is actually exposed here on non-hybrid models. It actually fits underneath the floor, but that is where all our battery components are currently on this hybrid model. We'll get all of my filming gear out of the way and show you that yes, you can peek underneath here just a little bit, but you get basically your tools for your jack and then space for the battery. So not a lot going on underneath the floor back there. And then if you do want to put the back seats up, they do fold up fairly easily with the pull of that latch right there. You may have noticed the beeping the entire time I've been back here. That's because it has an automatic close feature that simply uses the proximity key and your distance to the vehicle to know, hey, you're no longer at the hatch, so we're going to go ahead and close it. You do get a few warning beeps just to let you know it's about to happen. But there you go. Before we move inside this one, I did want to show you the key. It is Kia's new detonator style key that we saw first on the EV9. You can see lock is right there. You've got remote start right there. You've got unlock here, your hatch button, and a panic button. No smart park on this particular model, but that's okay. Moving up to the vehicle, you can just keep the key in your pocket, your purse, wherever you keep your key, because it is a proximity passive entry system. You can simply unlock it by grabbing the door handles. You can lock it by pressing that little square right there. It does power fold your mirrors in. It even locks the fuel door, so you don't have to worry about anyone getting in there. But again, to unlock it, you simply grab the back of the door handle, the mirrors power extend, and you can get inside. This right here, I applaud Kia. They do a great job with colors both inside and out. Now we have the dust blue interior on this model, leather interior. You can see we have 2-person memory seats for the front seats. We get some textured material here, no fake wood look, but I really do like the quilting that they do even on the door panels here. It is a very classy look. You can see we have express up down all the way around, electronic lockout there for your child seats, and then a little bit of storage down low. Multiple way positional seats here. You have 4-way lumbar. You have an extending thigh rest here, though the vehicle's off, so I can't move any of that right now, but take a look at these seats. Dust blue leather, they're quilted. I love it. The last time we had an SX Prestige trim, we had the kind of camel brown. I love this blue interior. It works. It works very well. Even with, again, as I mentioned, this gray not being my first choice, I love that interior color. As we move inside and close the door, my seat will move into place after I put my foot on the brake and push the engine start button right here. So we have power memory seats here with easy ingress egress. You can see we have dual 12.3-inch screens here. We have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We'll get to that when we're driving, but a full digital display here with your blind spot, blind view cameras here when you put your blinkers on, which we really like. No head-up display on our SX Prestige model, which is a bit of a miss for us, but I do believe a lot of the extra money and development went into the hybrid technology on this particular model. You can see here exactly the details of your hybrid driving and your battery percentage while you're driving. You also get a battery percentage there, and it tells you exactly what mode you're in. Typical Kia steering wheel here. You get all your ADAS stuff, your lane centering. You can page through different information there in the center screen, but we generally keep it on that fuel economy screen. We have full adaptive cruise control with stop and go, so all the typical luxuries you would expect. Over here we have our brightness control for our two screens, our hatch open button, and our traction control defeat. We do have a redesigned dash, so they kept the shape of these external air vents, but they changed the central air vents to give us a more linear design all the way across, so we don't get that lower additional vent down here. We just get two across venting the traditional way here, which isn't a big loss. That small extra vent really didn't do a whole lot. What I will lament, and I have in every Kia video of note that we have tested, is this dual function screen here. This controls right now all of my infotainment stuff, but I can hit this button right here, and now you can see it's my dual zone climate control. So now I can adjust my temperature up here for both front passengers. I can put it on auto, but then I hit this button. Now we've got volume and tuning. I can tell you already in the week that we've had this, there have been a couple of occasions where I've turned this really quickly and I've been on the wrong screen, whether it was to make this cooler inside because it is quite warm here in the East Texas summer, or it was turned to try and turn the volume up. Anyway, it's just the wrong screen. Yes, we do have controls here for volume and tuning on the steering wheel. You can use voice controls. I will just say it is needlessly complicated having this dual function screen. I just wish they had given us two sets of dials and controls. Hyundai can do it. I don't know why Kia insists on using this. They have moved away from it on their K4 and on their EV9, so we'll see if this persists in their next generation of vehicles. Moving down further, you can see we have heated and ventilated front seats up here, which is very nice and welcome. We have USB charging here. This is a dual purpose cord slot right here. You can either have it on charge or charge and interface with the USB-C cord, which I am currently charging one of my GoPros on right now, so I've just got it on charge only. And then a lot of gloss black. We've left this lid open, but still there's a lot of gloss black. There's already scratches and dusts and fingerprints down here. I don't like gloss black. It's not premium to me, and there's a liberal amount of it down here. You can also see we're getting quite a bit of glare from the metallic look trim around. Again, there are some material choices in here that I do applaud them doing something different, something a little classier, but yeah, we're getting some glare here. We get more of that textured like material like we got here, just with a more cohesive look as well. Moving down, we have a damped felt lined glove box, which is nice, very roomy in there. Two cup holders here, a little bit of storage here, all with rubber mats underneath them. As with in here, we do have a Qi wireless charger in here with a rubber mat, which is nice. And we get this large center storage console with a removable bin, also with a rubber mat. Then we've got a carpeted mat down here. A little bit of storage here. I'm sure Holly will talk about how she keeps her makeup here when we do our family review. Multiple different controllers here. You can lock it in all-wheel drive. We've got Eco, Sport, Snow, and Smart drive modes. We have a quick access button for our 360 cameras. I really do appreciate the 360 cameras that we get in Kia products, especially this one right here, the compute power that goes into being able to stitch all the images together and to just pan around so quickly without any lag. It's very impressive. We can go into further detail into different screens here by clicking those buttons, but really do like the cameras here in this one and the fact that we have a quick access button for it right here. Electronic parking brake, electronic hold for in stop and go traffic, so you don't have to keep your foot on the brake, downhill descent control, and a heated steering wheel. I like that we do maintain physical buttons at least for those things. Another screen to mention is our rear view mirror screen here. You can see I did leave those headrests up in the back because I'm about to climb back there for you, but that is what the view typically looks like, and that is why rear view camera mirrors are becoming so popular. I have a much wider field of view. Moving up, we do have a suede headliner, which is nice. A dual function switch here for our motorized sunshade for our massive panoramic roof. You can see just how far back it goes. And if you pull it all the way, it will open the larger front portion of the glass. Though it does not open all the way, it does a fair job of going most of the way, giving you a lot of open air experience up here in the front. But you can see exactly what my lament is with the style of switch that Kia chooses to use on their sunroofs. I did not mean to close the sunshade, I just wanted to close the roof. You have to be very sensitive with just how aggressively you push this button. You may accidentally open this on a rainy day when you just want to be able to see the clouds, see out, versus opening everything. Coming to me, I've got a fair amount of headroom. I've got no complaints up here. It's a very comfortable seat, but let's check out the second and third rows of this Sorento hybrid. As we approach the back doors, this is where I talk about we do not have the passive entry here on the back door, so you will need to grab the front door first and then open the back door if you're looking to load a kid in before you climb in. When you open the doors, you will notice they open quite wide and they have a lot of nice features on them, starting first and foremost with one of our favorite family features, the built-in sunshades on this one that do a great job of covering nearly the entire window. Very impressed at just how much coverage we get from those sunshades. And then moving down, we get all these same materials we got up front, the dust blue armrest, the quilted section here. Really do like that. We have heated captain's chairs, 2-stage heated, with our window controls there and a built-in cup holder, though we do have some gloss black, not my favorite. We also do have a bottle holder down lower, and moving inside, you can see, again, captain's chairs in that dust blue with the quilting. Really, 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 really like this interior combination. I would even get this gray paint if it meant it would be the only way I could get a dust blue based on local inventories, but I would get the blue exterior paint with this dust blue interior, I do believe. Moving inside, sitting behind myself, you can see I've got a fair amount of room back here. We do have 2 air vents behind the center console, but again, more gloss black. They really do like gloss black in this vehicle. No tri-zone controls. I do have some additional power down here with the cigarette lighter style and a household style outlet down there. We have some power in the seats with 2 USB-C power ports. We have some storage and dual storage pockets back here. So we have a solid pocket and a map net back here, a mesh net that does extend down below. And then for seat comfort, almost said child seat comfort, we do have ratcheting armrests for our captain's chairs here. But if you want to see me install Tucker's child safety seat, be sure and hit that subscribe button. Coming back to me, this seat is in its upright position. My hair is touching the roof, or the ceiling, but I can't recline and get very comfortable back here, though it is infringing a little bit on the third row of seats. To get into that third row of seats, Kia gives us this quick access button that releases the mechanism and slides the seat forward. You can see, though, that is not going to work with a child seat secured in place because it does recline or lean that seat back forward to give you the most of the entry space getting into the back seat. Back here, you can see we have a 50-50 split, two-person rear seat on the third row. You can see we do have lower latch points for child safety seats to be secured back here. We have top tethers in all 4 seats back in the back, so you can put a car seat anywhere. Climbing in back here, though, is a little bit difficult for me. Ugh. The door opening could be a little wider, but when I'm back here, I'm back here. Okay, yeah, headroom is a problem. This is going to be a teenager or a child seat, back seat for sure. It is a third row seat in a pinch when you need it. You can also see, I'm assuming that my knees are fairly high up because I am sitting very low to the floor. We do get some luxuries back here, like a USB-C power port. We get a cup holder, we get a place to rest our phone while it's charging, so you do have a few niceties back here, though not a whole lot to speak of. You can power fold the second row of seats, power release them to get out from back here. So in addition to the button right on top of both of the seats, you do have those releases back here, though I do believe that is more to work with when you are loading luggage back here, because I am essentially sitting in the luggage compartment, if that is not evidenced by just how little headroom I have back here. That's enough of a tour. Let's hop behind the wheel and see how this thing drives. As we move inside with all the cameras set up, I do just want to say how comfortable this interior is. We'll talk more about that as we're driving, but I'm very impressed with the overall comfort in here, notwithstanding all the controls here. I did mention Apple CarPlay earlier. I am plugged in with a wire just because it charges faster than the wireless charger down there. It doesn't heat my phone up quite as much, but you can see all the Apple CarPlay stuff right up there. If I hit the Kia button right there, I can go into all the Kia screens. The one that interests me most is this hybrid screen, which tells me my electric motor use and all that stuff. We'll actually leave that up for the duration of the review. I do also want to say a huge thank you to our partners here through RaceBox for their GPS race timers that test 0 to 60 and lap times. And you can get one for yourself, save 15% in the process, and help our channel out with your purchase by using the link and the discount code down in the description below. Setting off in the Sorento, we get the dial right here. Interesting that we get this dial, but we don't get the smart park function. And I thought that's why Kia was really going heavily with these dials versus a mechanical gear selector. But anyway, we get the dial with the knurled edges. I really do like that a lot to select where we want to go. A turn to the right is drive, turn to the left is reverse. But I want to talk about this right here. I'm actually going to lock it in all-wheel drive, and I'm going to put it into sport mode so that we can see exactly how fast this is 0 to 60 thanks to our partnership with RaceBox. The last time we were in a Sorento with our RaceBox timer, it was the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and I was thoroughly impressed with the acceleration. This one is geared much more for fuel economy, but we'll still see what it's capable of. I do want to come to a complete stop here. I'm going to stand on the brake with my left foot, stand on the accelerator with my right foot. Absolutely nothing happens, no revving of the engine or anything, but here we go. A little bit of a lag for it to figure out what I wanted, a little bit of turbo lag before we really started moving. So yeah, definitely not as athletic as that 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder and the X Pro model we tested, but at 7.5 seconds thereabouts, still not a sluggish vehicle. It's not the peppiest, it's not the quickest, but definitely not the slowest either. I have tested much slower vehicles in the 9 and 10 second range. So the fact that you can comfortably bring 4 adults and 2 kids in this vehicle, get 30 mpg in the process, 34 if you believe the EPA testing numbers, well, I would say that this is still a pretty good bargain when it comes to overall drivability. We will test it again near the end of the video in a more traditional acceleration format, but I just wanted to see what all-wheel drive and sport mode was capable of here in this one. As we get it out and drive down our normal test loop, there's a lot to talk about here. I guess the perfect starting point would be with road noise. We are on very highly textured pavement here, and we're getting a little bit of that road noise communicated back through us. We do have 19-inch fuel saver type wheels underneath us to help with the fuel economy mission of this hybrid, though they do communicate a little bit more noise than the last vehicle we drove down here, which was a luxurious EV, so apples and oranges, not apples to apples, I guess, in that comparison. But all that to say, it is not loud in here. It is just not the most quiet ride that we've had on this road. Definitely not the loudest. I would leave that to a Subaru BRZ or a Toyota GR86. Those were some noisy little coupes. Here, though, I don't feel like I have to yell to get my point across to any person in this cabin. Which, okay, let's talk about cabin size. This really only has a handful of competitors based on its overall size. The Ford Explorer, which currently does not offer a hybrid, and the Toyota Highlander, not the Grand Highlander, but the traditional Highlander, which just ditched its V6, now only giving us Turbo 4 power. So those are your really only main rivals to this based on size. Even the Hyundai Santa Fe that shares a platform with this has gone big and boxy and no longer really shares a competitive space with this Sorento in size and interior packaging. I would say that the Santa Fe is a little bit larger thanks to its boxy shape. But if you were to cross shop this across 3-row crossovers, it's a lot of crosses, then I would say the two that most likely would be cross-shopped would be the Ford Explorer or the Toyota Highlander. Everything else from General Motors is much larger than this, and pretty much everything else in the class has either more or less space. This really is a Kia Sportage with an emergency back seat. I am really impressed how similar the cargo numbers are in this and the smaller Sportage, especially when you fold those third row seats down in this Sorento. If you don't care about captain seats in the middle row, the Sportage may be a more fuel efficient, more cost effective vehicle for you to purchase, though the captain's chairs, the color options, some of the design choices here in the Sorento may lead you to the bigger vehicle in the lineup. And then Kia does even offer 2 more 3-row vehicles in the SUV category, bigger than this in their own lineup. You have the very popular Telluride and the EV9 electric crossover. You even have the same face-wearing Kia Carnival MPV that has much more room and space back behind you in that one than you have here in the Sorento. It really is a tweener of 3-row crossovers that is losing a lot of competitors to either bigger or smaller offerings. I will say there is more space in that 3rd row here in the Sorento than what I experienced the last time I climbed in the 3rd row of a Toyota Highlander. Driving it, it's completely fine driving. You have a little bit firmer suspension. I'm not saying it's firm by any means, but you do feel like you're sitting on top of everything. You don't float as with the last luxury EV that I drove and tested here on the channel. But it soaks up imperfections in the road just fine. I've got no complaints. We already talked about road noise. We've talked about power. It's plenty quick for a commuter vehicle, and it sips fuel in the process. You don't even notice when the hybrid engine is working for fuel-saving purposes. And go back to our screen here. You can see from this little graphic here when the electric motor's supplying power, when the gas motor's supplying power, and when they're both supplying power, or when we're putting power back into the battery. It all works very seamlessly. If you don't have your radio blaring, you can actually hear the engine come on, but other than that, without having any indicator like this in the cabin, it really is hard to tell from a seat of the pants, from even the throttle response, what is actually happening with that engine, with the hybrid, powertrain. It is all just very seamless and works together very well. I am very impressed with this overall packaging. At $50,000, we do have the top trim of the hybrid model, and at 34 mpg estimated from the EPA, you're really getting a lot of miles out of this. We've driven this over 50 miles so far and still have 468 miles of range left to go before this thing needs a refill. It's not a plug-in hybrid, so I don't have to worry about plugging it in. It recharges the battery like most other hybrids just by your braking force, by coasting, things like that. So you really can go a long way on this hybrid model. And unlike that Kia Carnival MPV minivan that I've talked about wearing the same face as this, you actually have all-wheel drive in this one, where that Carnival is front-wheel drive only. As we come to the end of the twisty bit, I do want to do a couple more acceleration runs, more how you would do it, just from a standstill, no brake torquing, not that it did anything for me in this hybrid model, but I'm gonna go from standing on the brake to accelerating all with one foot, and we are gonna stay in eco mode, not locking the diffs or anything like that. Ready, set, here we go. You can definitely tell when everything kicks in. There's like a double hit to the acceleration in this one. And I think, okay, we got a quicker 0 to 30 in this one, but 7.86 0 to 60. So a little bit slower than our first run in sport mode with the diffs locked up. The diff locked up, basically that just means it's in all-wheel drive all the time. It doesn't have to stop and think about it. We're going to give it one more run here, going in the opposite direction, going slightly downhill, come to a complete stop. Ready, set, here we go. Now you get that double hit from the turbo lag and from the EV kicking up and roaring up those electric motors. 762 on that run. Yeah, it's plenty quick for a commuter. I've got no complaints on power. It is pretty quick to give it to you when you step on the throttle, but if that isn't quick enough for you, you do get paddles here for that 6-speed automatic. I would say maybe 8 gears would give you a little bit quicker on-the-go responsiveness when you just jab the accelerator, because again, that was a little bit of a big lag if you're wanting to pass somebody or get around something in a hurry. But for the most part, I would say even here in Eco, it's plenty peppy for what most consumers are looking for in a 3-row crossover. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell. Our metrics show that roughly about 10 to 15% of you are currently subscribed to the channel, so that leaves a lot of room for growth for us here at GT Garage Talk in our mission to help families buy their next vehicle. Speaking of families, you will see our full family review on this vehicle next, where Holly is behind the wheel. I put Tucker's child safety seat in. He rides back there and gives you his thoughts and opinions, and we basically give you a rundown of what this has been like to live with as a family vehicle for a week. You can also find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, in a 2025 Kia Sorento Hybrid SX Prestige with my beautiful dust blue interior, until next time, gearheads, bye. Oh, it's a baby! It was a little baby.